good football weather here in Cleveland. 46 degrees for the guy who is standing down on the field in the weather. Let's check in with Peter Schrager.
Josh McCown is out for the Browns, Justin. We know that. But on Cincinnati's sideline, they're missing one of their key playmakers, Tyler Eifert, the league leader in touchdowns with 12. He's not playing it. He's got a pinched nerve. In his replacement, we're going to see Tyler Croft, a rookie out of Rutgers, a third-round pick, and Ryan Hewitt, a second-year player out of Stanford. That's a big red zone target they'll be without, Justin.
All right, thanks so much, Peter. Cleveland won the toss. They have deferred, so Cincinnati will receive. Marvin Lewis has his club 9-2 on the year. First place in the AFC North, and first place comfortably 3 games ahead of Pittsburgh. Travis Coons will kick off here for the Browns. Brandon Tate and Cedric Pierman are back deep. It is Pierman from the goal line. And Pierman gets back up to the 20, gets hit hard, and that's where things will start. Craig Robertson with the special teams tackle. Andy Dalton, in his 5th year out of TCU, has put up nice numbers against these Cleveland Browns, and he's put up good numbers this year. His game last week, 20 of 27, 233, 3 touchdowns, interception against St. Louis, and that we talked about it. The confidence level that he has, the confidence level that the team has in him as well. Jeremy Hill will start in the backfield on first down, play action. Dalton moving around in the pocket. And Andy Dalton will run out of bounds at the 24, picks up 4. Nate Orchard forces him out. A look at the offensive line here for the Bengals. Andre Smith missed a couple of games with a concussion, but he's back in there at right tackle.
Yeah, the biggest thing with this offensive line and this backs and receivers that you take a look at with Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill, you always have A.J. Green on the outside. Andy Dalton, just to reiterate what we said to the start, he doesn't have to win it by himself. This is the strongest cast that he's ever played with. All he has to do is get the ball in the right hands.
2nd down and 6 here for the Bengals. Handoff. Hill. And Hill takes it up to the 28, picks up 3. Randy Starks with the tackle. Look at the defensive line and the lineup for this defense for Cleveland.
Yeah, you take a look at Shelton, the rookie on the nose. That kid, that's a pivotal play, because what that does is it helps his second level, especially Dansby and Robertson on the inside. And in the secondary, they're a little light for what they have been, but they still have some good players, particularly Dante Whitner, who knows how to play that spot really well.
Giovanni Bernard in on 3rd and 1 for Cincinnati. Bernard up the middle, has the first down, and brings the tacklers up to the 38, gets 8 yards. And this is one of the keys on offense for Cincinnati, is running the ball.
Well, the biggest thing they do, they spread you out on the front side, on outside, and then let the offensive line just take the game over. And that's what they're going to really do. It's just watch this Bodine on the inside, Andre Smith inside. Croft, you can see coming in with a nice block. It's assignment football. Bernardi will find the crack.
1st and 10 from the 38. Jeremy Hill keeps those legs going. And Hill up to the 44, gets 4. The offensive coordinator, Hugh Jackson. And you know, and the guys speak to it, how much confidence now the two have in each other, and Andy Dalton and Hugh Jackson working together for a couple of years.
Well, you know, that piece is a big piece, and it's the same piece that has kind of solidified this offense. And Andy Dalton right now understands what Hugh Jackson's thinking before it ever happens, and they're on the same page.
On 2nd and 6, another handoff for Hill. And Hill will get 2, setting up 3rd down and 4.
Okay, 3rd and manageable is what they want to stay in. 3rd and anything under 5. And so what that does to this defense is it puts you in that 2-way spot. So you know you're going to have to tighten your coverage down. And then up front, in your front 7, you have to be able to handle the run game right here. And their run fits are really important, particularly here. Last time you saw Bernard able to find his way through there.
Mohamed Sanu in motion. Dalton rolling out to his right, throws, and it's incomplete for Mohamed Sanu.
And he had him, and that's on Andy Dalton. Because all they were doing, you see Sanu, he's going to be in the slot, and this is just leverage. All he's going to do is try to get the defender on his inside hip, which is Kawan Williams, and all you have to do is get him inside, and then the throw has to be right, and that was the part that didn't work.
So Mike Pettine's defense comes up with a stop. Kevin Huber will punt here for Cincinnati. Travis Benjamin back at his own 10. A high, short punt. And this will be downed at the 27 of Cleveland. Austin Davis making his first start since last year when we come back.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
I think that guy's going to lose out to the dog.
Give me your paw. Give me your paw. I'll give you your paw.
No score, first quarter, Cincinnati and Cleveland. Austin Davis making his first start here with the Browns. He was 3-5 as a starter last year with St. Louis. Came in for Josh McCown on Monday night. Did a nice job. On first down, passing over the middle. Easy target for Gary Barnidge. And Barnidge gets 9, second down and 1. This offensive line is headlined by Joe Thomas. He has not missed a snap in his entire career, an 8-time Pro Bowler. In the backfield, Isaiah Crowell will combine with Duke Johnson. Gary Barnidge, one of the main targets for any quarterback for the Browns. The handoff is to Crowell, and Crowell has the first down. The defense for Cincinnati, this is one of the top defenses, if not the top defense in the NFL. And yeah, Geno Atkins.
Geno Atkins is the real deal. He's playing at an all-pro level, and he's got help on the outside, but the guys behind him, as physical a group of linebackers that I've seen. Now, they have a couple guys banged up in the secondary, but this is still a very capable and solid secondary. They feed off what their front does.
Gary Barnidge on the sideline being looked at by the training staff. Austin Davis with a bootleg rolling out to his right, comes back. Did he make the catch? No. Incomplete. Travis Benjamin.
His foot, I think, was out of bounds. He got pressure inside from Atkins, who we were talking about, and forced him on the roll. Nice job of keeping your eyes down the field, but it looked like he stepped out of bounds as he came back to the ball. The official did a nice job, was right on top of it. Let's take a look. Yeah, see right there. Ooh.
Mike Pettine's looking up to see maybe there's a challenge. Yeah, because it looked like his foot was up in the air.
Yeah, he may have caught that before he went out.
No challenge, second down and 10. Isaiah Crowell up to the 42, gets 3, third and 7. Now Gary Barnidge, he's got 55 and now 56 catches on the season. Let's see what happened to him.
Yeah, well, this is a guy, he get rolled up on, and that looks bad. But, yeah, he's going to have to shake that one off, hopefully. He's been the best bright spot this team has had. And he's a guy who they can use in the middle of the field to open up the outside.
Third and 7, Davis in the shotgun. Pressure up the middle, and Davis gets sacked, but a flag on the play.
That looks like he may have got a hold of his face mask there.
Carlos Dunlap.
Dunlap hadn't had a sack for, over a month. The last time he had one was here against this team.
Face mask, number 96, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Carlos Dunlap a week ago had a sack, and they took it away again with a penalty. And this is just simple. It's a simple stunt. And you see Geno Atkins there holding two guys. That's good defensive line work. So he's on the inside tackle, and he's attacking the offensive tackle while grabbing the guard, and that allows Dunlap to come around.
Erase the sack, instead move the ball up to the 42 of Cincinnati. Duke Johnson in for the first time at tailback. And they give the ball to him, and he gets tripped up in the backfield by Reggie Nelson. Let's go out to LA and check in with Mike Hill for a game break.
All right, Bills and Texans, playoff implications in this one. First drive of the game for the Bills. 7 plays, only 1 pass of the drive, and that one right there. Tyrod Taylor to Sammy Watkins, 3-yard catch, 7-0 Bills. Justin, Matt, back to you.
Mike, thank you. Well, now Joel Bitonio is down, the left guard.
That's a big deal.
That is. He had just returned, missed a couple of weeks with an ankle injury. Cameron Irving had filled in for him, and they were happy to get this guy back. We'll be back after this.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Joel Bitonio was able to walk off under his own power, still limping a little bit along the sidelines. The good news for Cleveland, Gary Barnidge is back in at tight end, number 82. Austin Davis, pockets collapsing on him. Davis able to escape and alertly throws it away. Doesn't take a sack, doesn't lose any yardage.
Yeah, that's very well done by Davis. And here's the bottom line. See, this offensive line is going to have to pick it up. But he's looking to that left side, and coverage is there the whole time. Barnidge comes clean late on the backside. You see, he's going to look up on the top side, then he feels the pressure, and then he bails. The interior of this offensive line, you get Geno Atkins in there, especially right now, Cameron Irving, that rookie. I bet you there's an argument going on over who wants to line up over him.
3rd down and 12 here coming up for the Browns.
Because Cameron Irvin's just learning how to play. And he was a tackle in college. Yep. They moved him inside, especially as that left guard. And so you have to play low, especially when you're playing against a guy like Geno Atkins, who was born with leverage. I mean, he's a powerful, powerful man. And you give him your chest, he will take your heart. I love watching Geno Atkins. He is playing at a high, high level right now.
Reset the play clock to 10 seconds. It will start on my ready for play.
Malcolm Johnson, the fullback, was hobbling at the end of that play, and he goes off. So injuries galore for the Browns here in this first quarter.
Hey, here's a nice matchup you're going to watch right inside. That's Geno Atkins over the rookie Cameron Irving. Geno Atkins, a Georgia guy, and that's a Florida State guy over there.
Little SEC versus ACC action.
Got it.
On 3rd and long. Davis over the middle, and it's dropped by Barnidge. Did not have the distance for the first down. Vontaze Burfict was there.
Well, they were able to handle this on the front side. And Geno Atkins is kind of trying to clear on that same stunt that you saw Dunlap have a big pressure on before. This one should have been caught. Barnidge does not usually do this. You see Dunlap was able to introduce himself. Barnidge usually comes through that catch, and that's didn't happen.
Andy Lee with a good punt to the 5. Tate able to return it out to the 15. A 10-yard return by Brandon Tate. Cincinnati in a scoreless game will have their second try when we come back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history. By Target. Expect more, pay less. And by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in downtown Cleveland's part of that revitalization and redevelopment here in Cleveland with the old Jacobs Field, now Progressive Field, this stadium. You see Josh McCown on the sideline talking with Barnidge. Marvin Lewis, his team is back out there. They ran the ball 5 times on their first drive, threw the ball just once. They'll start at their own 16. Play action. Dalton taking a shot down the field. A.J. Green's got it. A.J. Green gets tripped up. A touchdown-saving tackle by Tramon Williams. 54-yard completion.
Making a tackle is a big deal, but so is getting beat. You can't let him get on top. And Tramon Williams, this is like his 9th or 10th year or whatever it is. But the bottom line is A.J. Green on the top side. He just runs right past Tramon Williams. That's a great throw. Now watch him track it. Tramon Williams does it right. See, once he gets on top, you run to the man. His eyes look, you look. This is a good job of actually tracking that and making that tackle, because that could have been 6 quick.
The quick pass outside to Marvin Jones makes one guy miss and gets tackled at the 20, gets 7 yards. Dante Whitner able to bring him down.
Marvin Jones is an outstanding number 2. But the guy who I've always loved watching play has been Dante Whitner. Whitner, you know, he was in Buffalo, then out to San Francisco, and now he's here. Yeah. And he always brings his A game. When he's healthy, he's a really good player. Very good in the open field tackle.
A 3-time Pro Bowler is Dante Whitner. 2nd down and 3 for the Bengals.
Keep your eyes right there. This Hewitt kid, just a rookie. Like him.
Hand off to Hill, cuts it back. And Hill gets 4 yards, gets the first down. Deshaun Gibson with the tackle, and this Cincinnati team has been fantastic in the red zone this year. 70% touchdown percentage.
And I think when I look at this offense now, I look at Hugh Jackson, their offensive coordinator. I think he's done an outstanding job of his play calling, particularly down here. He uses everybody.
Don't forget Tyler Eifert inactive for this game. A big loss for the Bengals. Hand off Hill again. And Hill will push forward to get a few yards. Xavier Cooper with a tackle.
Yeah, you're going to take a bite. Now, this whole thing on this defense is predicated on those 2 inside guys. They have to control the middle. And that allows your linebackers to be able to flow. This particular defense, they ran it in New York when Penn was with Rex. And so it's predicated on those up front people being dominant. And if they're not, you've got a problem.
Yeah.
2nd down and 8, empty backfield here for Dalton. Dalton forced out of the pocket. Throws incomplete for Jeremy Hill.
Yeah, that you can go back and thank your coverage if you're that D-line. They got a little bit of push up inside, but the protection was good. As Dalton looks down the field, there's nowhere to go with the football. So they're pressing straight up. Now he has to get out, but there's still nothing there. This is coverage down the field that handles the whole thing. Sets up this 3rd down. And so as bad a play as that was to A.J. Green, they can win this series if they can win 3rd down right here.
And it is 3rd and 8 for the Bengals. Giovanni Bernard in the backfield. Dalton throws, and that is caught. Where do they mark him? It looks like the spot is going to be just shy. The catch by Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones is working off of leverage, okay? You're going to keep it on the top side. Now make the break come inside out. That is really, really well done. Charles Gaines did a good job on the outside there. It's going to set up this 4th down.
They're going to come out to measure.
You'll hear me talk about leverage today, and really all that is the receiver is trying to get you to a side, and defensively you're trying to not give him 2 ways to go. And so you take one side away and then you play to the other side. If done properly, it's very effective.
Just short. And let's see what Marvin Lewis decides to do.
I think Marvin Lewis has some confidence in his offensive line. He'll maul him. And that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't think it was much of a decision for Marvin Lewis.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I think Jeremy Hill last week, I think he started sticking his foot and coming in the dirt and coming downhill. So they'll go with their 3 tight end set right now, and there will be big boy football, and low man wins. Let's see what happens.
Jeremy Hill is the running back.
Keep your eyes on Hewitt, the fullback, 89.
4th and inches. Hewitt goes in motion. Dalton, the quarterback sneak, and he gets that push, and he's got the 1st down.
He got the push from behind.
So Jeremy Hill did it again.
Exactly. And so look, there's going to be a point right there. He's not going anywhere. Now watch the rest of the boys come and give the push. Jeremy Hill included. Zeitler in there and Bodine in there, and there's Hugh Jackson, their offensive coordinator. I think Hugh I think he was really good.
First and goal from the 5 for the Bengals. Hill gets the carry. Not much room, will get a couple of yards. Second and goal from the 3.
Yeah, there's a rookie out here from Stanford, kid Hewitt, number 89. And that kid, he's got some good toughness. And he's got some pretty good size. He's 6'4", about 255. But he plays with had a little bit of anger in him, which I really like to watch. You don't normally see that. He knows he belongs on the field, and that's why he's out there. That's good for him.
There's all those tests to take in Stanford.
He's still mad about it.
Dalton to the end zone, incomplete for Jake Fisher, who is an eligible tackle. Oftentimes comes in as that big tight end.
That's on Dalton. A little lower throw, and he doesn't have to do it with 2 hands. Now, keep in mind, this was a high school tight end, number 74. He played tight end, and he still has it. Dalton knows it. The play action works. He pops in the back of the end zone, bring it down, and it's 6. Instead, we're playing for 3rd down.
Third and goal from the 3. Empty backfield here for Dalton. A.J. Green on top of your screen. Dalton up the middle, touchdown.
Good eyes. Really good eyes by Dalton. So defensively, they anticipated that he was going to go inside. He took 1 step forward, then veered to his left, and on the pinch, and he caught it right.
Third rushing touchdown of the year for Andy Dalton.
He just veered to the left for his left, defensive right, and it was like he had thought. Good for him.
Mike Nugent on for the extra point. And that is good. 7-0 Cincinnati.
J.K. playing quarterback's all about decision making and believe in your eyes. He believed it to the left, and it's 6 points.
A big pass to A.J. Green, a couple of big runs on 4th and short, and then the touchdown 3rd and goal.
Yeah, it's about awareness. You see on the outside, Gibson, he's not quite ready. They're trying to have communication between the two. He's going to jump inside, and then Bowling just does a nice job of coming down, but it's Andy Dalton's eyes. Great awareness, 6 points.
Nugent to kick off. Darius Jennings returning from about 4 yards deep in the end zone. And Jennings gets up to the 17-yard line, 19-yard return. Andy Dalton, usually doing it with his arms, does it with his legs this time. The Browns trail 7-0. They'll start at their 17. 3:40 to go here in this first quarter. Justin Kutcher, Matt Millen, Peter Schrager with you here on Fox. Austin Davis, his first drive, 1 for 4 for 9 yards. He'll start with Isaiah Crowell in the backfield once again. On first down, they go play action. Over the middle, and this is caught and hung on to by Brian Hartline, and a flag is thrown.
They're saying he's down. I'm going to tell you something right now. They do not have an answer for Geno Atkins. Geno Atkins inside is giving all kinds of pressure. That's a heck of a throw by Davis because he had pressure in his face.
It was an 18-yard completion to Brian Hartline. The officials did rule it a completion on the field. Our referee today is Jeff Triplett.
And one of the things when you have...
There's no foul on the play for hitting the defensive player. The player was declared a runner and down by contact. First down.
Yeah. Good call. It's a good call. Let's get back to Geno Atkins. When you have a young player, you're Cameron Irvin inside, they're going to try to isolate you, especially if you have a guy like Geno Atkins, who's just a powerful guy. So Hartline, his rear end's down, he has control, and then the ball comes out, down by contact. Good call by the officials.
1st and 10 at the 35. Quick pass. Darius Jennings, just elevated from the practice squad yesterday, picks up 5.
This is smart by DeFilippo, their offensive coordinator. He's getting the ball out quickly. He's going to have to. He's keeping it outside on the perimeter. He's going to have to really, it's hard to double an inside guy, so he's going to have to either use the center and the guard, but Cincinnati will understand that, so they'll start moving these people inside.
2 tight ends in here on 2nd down and 4. Play action again. Davis over the middle again, and another completion to Gary Barnidge. A big completion. Quick update. Let's go back to LA for a game break.
Guys, Bucks in the playoff mix thanks in part to this guy, the rookie Jameis Winston. 5-yard TD run, his fifth TD run of the season, leads the team. Bucks up 7-0 over Atlanta. Justin, Matt, back to you.
Mike, thank you. Here is Cleveland behind Austin Davis, making his first start since last year with St. Louis. It was a 24-yard completion. They now have the ball at Cincinnati's 35-yard line, down by 7. Josh McCown broke that collarbone Monday night against Baltimore. Handoff to Crowell, got hit in the backfield, able to dive forward to get maybe a yard.
Yeah, this is with Barnidge when he got that nice play across. So what they did, it's an over route, but you're able to do that because A, protection, they move the quarterback, and B, the play action holds the backer, and Barnes should get on top of him. I think John DeFilippo, their offensive coordinator, I think he's calling a nice game right now.
57 catches on the season, leads the team for Gary Barnidge. And there is DeFilippo. And he said even those quick passes like we saw before to Jennings, that's basically like a run for us. Davis throws high, and it's incomplete. Almost a great catch by Travis Benjamin. And now Benjamin is slow to get up.
Travis Benjamin, that's a great effort to try to go up and get it. There's not much to him. Jay Kirkpatrick is the defender right there. And that's good coverage. It was, that's just a good play all the way around. See how Kirkpatrick got his hand in and then raked through his arms. That's well done. Not a big guy, Benjamin. Like about $175 soaking wet with a rock in his hand.
Well, Benjamin is down, and they're already down a bunch of receivers. The Browns are hoping he'll be okay. Already 4 players have gone down to injury for Mike Pettine's Browns in this first quarter, and some notable inactives. Obviously Eifert for Cincinnati, but Dwayne Bowe, a wide receiver, he's a healthy scratch. A big contract in the offseason for the Browns. They're without Andrew Hawkins, without Taylor Gabriel, and now we just saw Travis Benjamin go down. And here is Austin Davis, who's 3 for 4 on this drive for 48 yards. Facing a 3rd and 9. Pressure coming again. He throws, and he completes the pass. A flag on the play. Darius Jennings makes the catch, and a couple of flags came in.
Well, one thing they had was outstanding protection. They did a very good job. And Wentz, it looks like Davis is comfortable sitting there in the pocket.
Interference, offense, number 82. 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
That's a big penalty against Gary Barnidge.
What they're trying to do, you see Vontaze Burfict right there, number 55. He's going to walk in and out, and that's to confuse the protections. They want you to try to include him in the protections and that allows a guy to maybe get an edge or something. So they're trying to give different looks to the quarterback. And what Austin Davis is doing is he's focusing on the right things. So he's letting the protections handle itself up front. He'll make the call, and then he goes on to his read.
3rd and 19. Screen pass. Johnson. And he gets tripped up to the 36.
Yeah, this is just a nice call. You let them in, and then you dump it. Now you have to get past the 2nd level. Duke Johnson, for a rookie, is having, I think, a fantastic year. I think he needs to be integrated more into this offense. I think he's one of those guys you're going to be able to count on. Not a real tall guy, but a pretty thick guy.
4th among all NFL rookies in receiving yards. 44 receptions, 410 yards on the season coming into this game for Duke Johnson. Well, that is the end of this first quarter. Cincinnati leading Cleveland 7-0 here in the Battle of Ohio. Austin Davis has been good on this drive for Cleveland, facing a 4th and 11 from the 36-yard line.
Barnage is the guy you got to keep your eye on.
Do they even run the play or just try to draw them off sides?
57?
I think he's going to roll the dice here.
They are. Davis pumps, and Davis gets sacked. Michael Johnson, a loss of 10 on the sack, and now good starting field position here for Cincinnati.
Yeah, this is on Paul Gunther, their defensive coordinator. See what they're doing? They're gonna load the inside. But so you have the coverage on the outside, you know what you want. But so on the inside, what they're going to do is they're going to come with a double A gap blitz, and that forces you to have to come down inside, and it gives you the short corner. In this particular instance, it's about numbers. You don't have enough. And so the ball has to come out really quick.
Taken over at the 46. Play action. Dalton. A.J. Green wide open. And Green up to the 32. Gets 23. Dante Whitner finally there to bring him down with Tramon Williams.
Keep in mind, Tyler Eifert is not playing. And so through the first quarter, they haven't thrown any throws to the tight end, which is fine. They haven't really needed it. They've moved the ball. They're still pretty healthy. If an A.J. Green's getting open, that's all they'll need.
A.J. Green can light it up in a heartbeat. Already has 79 yards on 2 receptions. The handoff to Bernard. And Bernard up to the 23, gets 8. Carlos Dansby there for his 3rd tackle of this game.
It's interesting talking to Carlos Dansby, and it's a different Carlos Dansby.
Very different.
Yeah, and I remember when he was down in Miami, and he was played at about 265 to 270. He walked into our meetings the other day. I was like, "Where's the rest of you?"
Yeah. What happened?
Smokes. He's down. He said he weighs 227 to try to play this scheme. I felt sorry for him. I wanted to feed him.
Dalton to the end zone. Touchdown, A.J. Green. 23 yards again, and that was just too easy.
Yeah, Tramon Williams, I think, is waiting for his safety to come over the top, but you got to get your hands on. Look, it's A.J. Green. It's not like it's some stiff. You walk up there, you've got to get your hands on him. And then you have to turn it and run with him. That's to the outside. That's a long way for your safety to get there. That's a miscommunication or a misunderstanding on that one. You can't do that.
Mike Nugent on for the extra point. Well, A.J. Green already 3 catches, 102 yards. He's over 1,000 on the year for the 5th straight year. And the Bengals lead 14-0.
Today's game is sponsored by Pfizer, by Amazon Fire TV, So Long, Showhole, and by Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's still finger-licking good.
He's locked.
Back here in Cleveland, A.J. Green, the 23-yard touchdown catch. He's got 102 yards already on the day. 5th straight season with 1,000 yards. Pretty good company. Trails only Randy Moss to start a career. You knew the kid was a stud coming out of college, out of Georgia. He and Julio Jones in that same draft class. Nugent to kick off. Jennings will take it from a yard deep in the end zone. And Jennings gets back up to the 19. Let's go back and see what happened on that touchdown.
Yeah, okay, so they're going to show you a cover 2 look on the top side. And so they're walked up tight. They're going to roll this down. Gibson's going to come inside. This looks like it was going to be man. He allowed him to go outside. In the 2, you want to shove him back inside. Tramon Williams, I think he just had a brain fart right there. And that's not good. And I'll tell you why. Everybody in the stadium knows that A.J. Green's the guy.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong time to have one of those.
So let's see if Cleveland can get some points on the board here, trailing 14-0 in this second quarter. Davis on the slant completes the pass to Brian Hartline. Well, the most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken. And tomorrow he'll be breaking down the college football playoff selections, plus everything that happens today in the NFL. Don't miss the Herd every weekday at noon Eastern, only on FS1. Hey, real quick, your thoughts on the Big Ten Championship last night?
I thought that was a fantastic game. I thought it was a great goal line stand. Congratulations to Coach D'Antonio and the Spartans, but I'll tell you that the Iowa team, they played their hearts out. They've had a great season.
And Crowell up the middle, and he comes up a yard shy of the first down marker. 3rd and 1 coming up. Austin Davis so far 6 for 10 for 70 yards. So far 0 for 2 on 3rd downs today. Duke Johnson is in at tailback. Play action. Davis throwing towards the sideline, and that is caught by Hartline and a flag. Drake Kirkpatrick, maybe the guilty culprit.
Well, Ray Maluga was coming to put some pressure on Austin Davis, and I am impressed with Austin Davis. This guy, he's been taking some shots, and his eyes have been downfield. His decision-making has been great.
Personal foul, face mask, number 27 in the defense. 15 yards down in the end of the play, first down.
That's the second face mask called against Cincinnati so far today.
Well, that's Drake Kirkpatrick, but more importantly for me, Austin Davis, watch his eyes downfield. And that's just kind of, I hate to say it's like incidental. It's the right call. And sometimes that happens. There's 2 of them today. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's where it's at.
1st and 10 from the 49 of Cincinnati. Hartline in motion. Davis up top, incomplete for Gary Barnidge. Time for a game break. Let's go back to Mike Hill in LA.
Texas and Bills, a game with big playoff implications here. Tyrod Taylor already with a passing TD decides I'm just going to do it myself with my legs this time. 8 yards, gets him 6, 14-6 Bills in the second. Justin, Matt, back to you guys.
Thank you very much. Back here in Cleveland, Justin Kutcher, Matt Millen, Peter Schrager with you here, looking at the AFC East. The Patriots in control at 10-1, but there is the fight. You see Buffalo behind the Jets. Handoff up the middle. It's Johnson. And Duke Johnson will get up to the 44, gets 5, tackled by Josh Shaw.
You watch this Cincinnati defense, the thing that really hits you are their inside linebackers. And when I say hit you, I mean hit you. Ray Maluga 58 and Vontaze Burfict 55. Yeah, they have, it looks to me like they play ready, fire, aim. That's a physical group of players. It is fun to watch them.
3rd and 5. Pressure coming. Davis over the middle. Completes the pass. Hartline tried to stretch it out. Ball came loose. Was he down first? They say he was down.
But this right here, this play typifies what the NFL is anymore. It's open field tackling. He's down.
By contact.
Yeah, he's down. And Josh Shaw, it's a nice tackle. Now watch the pressure they're bringing up inside. Nice physical. The walls collapsing. Hartline can't quite get there, but a nice job of Shaw of being able to make that open field one-on-one tackle.
4th and 1. And Cleveland will go for it again. Either that or they're going to call a timeout. Let's wait and see. They're going to talk this one over first. The ball is at just inside the 41-yard line. Justin Kutcher alongside Matt Millen, and Matt, Cleveland went for it last time on 4th down, didn't convert. Now they're looking at even giving off better field position. Do they go for it? Do they punt right now? Down 14-0.
Yeah, and so, it's at that time of the season, you're 2-9. You have to try to get something going. Your quarterback actually has been playing pretty well. If you can protect him, he'll have a chance. Now, the last time, they brought that double-A gap blitz up inside to kind of shorten the corner, and they were able to get a sack. That killed that thing. They're afraid inside to run a little bit because Geno Atkins has been pretty much manhandling people inside, so we'll see what they're going to do. I think they'll go for it, but we'll find out.
Austin Davis is out there. 4th and 1. And like you said, look, at this point in the season, you're 2-9. You're down 14. Why not? Isaiah Crowell, the running back. Hartline in motion. They roll out. Davis looking for somebody, throws it up, and it's incomplete.
Making decisions under pressure. The Cincinnati defense did a great job. This is sprint right option. They took away the primary, and there's your net result. Love the concept. Didn't quite work out, and it's right here. There's the guy who handles the whole thing. They're going to try to pick him right here. Hartline is going to try to come to get to the flat, and he only has a yard to go. So what Hartline does, because that's Adam Jones does a fantastic job of jumping it, and it forces him to go behind instead of in front, and there's the difference in the play. It's about a foot difference makes the play.
Dalton on 1st down, pressured, escapes the pressure, throws over the middle, and completes it to the tight end, Tyler Croft. The rookie out of Rutgers, filling in for Tyler Eifert. Dalton now 6 for 9, 131 yards. 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown. Jeremy Hill has got 22 yards on the ground so far.
Yeah, and so we're talking about those guys with those numbers, but let me tell you where you should be talking about is that offensive line. No pressures. They've opened the holes when they've had to. They are dominating this front right now.
Look at this setup.
It's the old Hugh Jackson, look over here, I'm going to go over there.
They set up the pass. Flags come flying in. Marvin Jones made the catch. Looks like Barkevius Mingo is going to be called for a face mask.
I expected a lot more out of Mingo.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, and I don't know enough about just watching this group. He's got an ability to rush the edge.
Face mask, number 51 of the defense. 15 yards out of the end of the play, 1st down.
He was one of those guys coming out of college that was one of those freaks of nature.
Yeah, well, he's got great speed, and he can run on his inside half, and that is the definition of a face mask right there. Yeah, the twist and pull and turn, and he got all of them. Carlos Dansby did a nice job of getting over there and making the play, but they'd have to figure out a role for Mingo. They haven't yet, and he has too much talent to not be on the field.
1st and 10 from the 21 now. Cleveland has been penalized twice now for 25 yards total. The toss to Mohamed Sanu out of the backfield, and Sanu slips a tackle. Mohamed Sanu up to the 14-yard line, gets 7.
Yeah, this is a nice job on the outside by Fisher. They bring in the extra tackle, 74. And so all they're trying to do is they're trying to get you defensively to try to run. And then they get you on an edge and they'll just push you past, and then they cut everything back. And this sets this up for second, whatever it is, 3 or 4 rather.
Sanu did have a 25-yard touchdown run against these Browns back on November 5th. Hand off this time to Bernard, and he gets wrapped up right away by Desmond Bryant, a loss of 2. Well, again, this is a chance right now for this Browns defense to make a stop. Just force 3. Don't give up 7.
And that would be a win.
3rd and 5. Cincinnati 2 for 4 so far on 3rd downs in this game. Play clock down to 3.
That right tackle moved. Andre Smith.
False start. Number 71, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
There's big old Andre right here, number 71. He's trying to get out because Kruger is going to try to get himself a jump.
So now, just so I know, is the X when it's bad and the circle when it's good?
I don't know what this thing works by itself. I have no control over it.
You get an X, son. 3rd and 9.
Hey, apex left.
Bernard goes in motion. Dalton gets pressured and goes down. Sacked by Mingo and Kruger.
Exactly who they need to be doing it, but they should turn around and thank their secondary because there was no place to go with that football. Good coverage down the field, and the net result is a sack. And you're going to watch this. They're going to lock this thing up, and they're playing. They're 3-on-2 on the top side. Man down here with a safety over. Really well done right there because the tight end was coming across Croft. But it looked like they took it away when he underneath and they were able to get a sack.
A 44-yard field goal attempt here for Nugent. And it's good. Well, we said if Cleveland forced a field goal and not allow a touchdown, it's a win. They did just that. The sack by Kruger and Mingo, and it's 17-0 Cincinnati.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
6 plays, 33 yards, resulted in a 44-yard field goal for Mike Nugent.
Yeah, the most important part, all week long you're practicing and doing all that stuff. But right now, see all that coaching going on? That's the most important coaching going on all week. Because now it's the adjustment and the adaptation to what's going on.
Jennings returning from his end zone again. And Jennings gets out to the 18. Can the Browns put some points on the board before the close of the half? They're down 17-0. Austin Davis making his first start with the Browns. The first 3 possessions have resulted in a punt and a turnover on downs. Josh McCown was the starting quarterback. Broke his collarbone last week, but doesn't mean he's not still involved. Johnny Mansell, it's his 23rd birthday today, watching on the sideline.
All right, huh? Happy birthday.
Not the way he envisioned it.
Score.
On first down, Davis over the middle, throws, completes to Gary Barnidge. Let's go down, check in with Peter Schrager and have some more on these quarterbacks for the Browns. We call that a tease.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call that a tease.
Okay. I'll go with the tease. Just as long as we tease me for a first down here.
2nd down and 5. Handoff. And Duke Johnson not going anywhere. The ball was down. Let's check in for real this time with Peter Schrager. Now we call that a gotcha.
Sorry about that, Peter. Third down. Keep your eyes. Yeah, keep your eyes on Barnidge again. He's inside.
Davis over the middle, completes the pass, hung on to by Marlon Moore. And Moore is now down. A 14-yard completion for the first down, but the 5th player to go down here for Cleveland in this half.
Playing it with outside leverage. He's looking for help on the inside. You can see that they were dropping with Carlos Dunlop. Burfict missed a hit, but he's getting up slow. Nice job of protection inside, and I got to tell you, Austin Davis is doing a really nice job.
Really is.
seeing the field. He's keeping his eyes downfield. He's been pretty accurate. He's doing a pretty nice job right now.
With Moore getting up, let's go out to LA for a game break and check in again with Mike Hill.
Our TD run, his first rushing TD of the year for Russell. 14-0 Seattle in the second. Justin, Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. Well, you mentioned Seattle. Austin Davis, as a starter with St. Louis last year, was 3-5, but he finished 2-2 as a starter. One of those wins was against Seattle. The kid has it. Even when he was making the starts, Brett Favre chimed in. Obviously, both went to Southern Mississippi. And he said, this kid, there's something about him. You know, he could be like that Kurt Warner type. And obviously, you're throwing out these big names, but he was very complimentary to Austin Davis. And you see something with him.
Absolutely, it's there. And, you know, just meeting with the guy the other day, yeah, he was one of those guys that, you know, when you ask him, he's very practical. So he's like, no, I just want to get the call down right. And then once I get the call down right, I want to go through mentally how the play works. And then once I get the call down mentally how it works, then I'll be able to see the field. I mean, so he's very linear in his thinking. You could see that it comes out exactly as it's supposed to. And he's given time. That linear thinking works just fine.
Cincinnati is challenging the completion for the Browns. It would be a first down to Marlon Moore.
Brownies have, heck, they had 4 guys get hurt in the first quarter, and now here's another one. That's a lot of guys that are getting banged up so far in the first half.
Again, they're looking at this right here. Marlon Moore.
There's the catch.
Let's see when he's down when the ball comes loose. Oh.
Well, he had control of it. He has control of it all the way through. Yeah, so this should be a catch and then down by contact. And he took 3 steps or whatever with that ball, so.
Let's bring in Mike Pereira from LA. Mike, what are you seeing on this play?
To me, it's pretty clear as I hear the description. You've got 3-step process here because this is a receiver on his feet, not going to the ground. He gets control. That's the first issue you have to look at here. So he'll get control, then he'll get 2 feet down. Here's the control, 2 feet, third, makes a move here, turns up field, and now the ball comes out. So that has all of the qualification for a receiver on his feet to complete the process of the catch.
We're still waiting for the word from our official jet triplet. Here he comes. Let's see if our guys, Mike and Matt, are correct.
I'll go with Mike, okay? Yeah. I'd bet on him more than me.
The ruling on the field stands. Cincinnati is charged their first challenge and a timeout.
So a third down conversion for Cleveland stands. Marlon Moore is back up on the sideline.
Hey, and quietly, they gave him a little protection right there. Be able to find that guy down the field, 3rd and long. I like what I'm seeing out of Austin Davis here.
Davis stepping up again. Maybe spoke too soon. Intercepted.
A little too soon.
Reggie Nelson thought about a lateral. Now he goes down, tackled at the 26-yard line.
I think I put the Ooga Booga on him.
The old announcer jinx. 7th interception of the season for Reggie Nelson. That leads the NFL.
You can see Reggie Nelson sitting right up high there. It looks like he's anticipating. Oh, he was anticipating Hartline coming across. Yeah. Watch Hartline. He's going to break out instead of in. See it? And that's just, you got your signals crossed.
First turnover of this one.
Hey, what are you?
That's a good guy to be talking to right there, Josh McCown. That's a good football mind McCown has. I expect to see him when he retires to be a coach.
Dalton taking over, rolling out of the pocket, and he's going to throw this one away.
Yeah, the best thing that Austin Davis could get over and get it corrected. Understand what happened, communicate, get all the communication back on track, and say, okay, it's not going to happen again, move on. Put it behind you.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 22 in the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's against Tramon Williams, not having himself a good first half of football.
No, he picked a bad day to stop whatever. Remember the airplane? I picked a bad day.
Roger.
We're good. We're going to top.
Hand off to Hill. Hill up to the 16-yard line, tackled by Randy Starks. 5-yard run there for Jeremy Hill.
This right now, Jeremy Hill, get him humming, getting downfield. Now just let my offensive line just start wearing them out. Where that'll really pay dividends will be in the late third quarter into the fourth quarter.
And the first time these teams met, it was actually a close game for much of the game.
Right.
17-10 after 3 quarters, and it finished 31-10 Cincinnati.
Yeah. 18.
And the flag is thrown.
False start. 89 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That gave a list. Hewitt, the fullback, he gave a little bit of twist. He may have been looking. I think he may have been. He's like, "What are you talking about? I didn't do anything." Of course, he maybe one of those curls got in his eyes. That's probably what happened.
I was going to say that the hair blew in the wind,
That's
and
what
that's
it was.
the false start. Second down and 10 now. They go empty. Giovanni Bernard splits out wide, top of your screen. And now a timeout will be used here by Cincinnati with the play clock winding down to 4. 3:31 to go here in the first half. And who better to tell you about the start of UFC's 9 Days of Fury than the most talked about man in the UFC, Conor McGregor.
Then Saturday, I plan to obliterate Jose Aldo on the biggest night in UFC history. So don't miss the prelims. Live and free, only on FS1.
I wish I had that accent.
Conor McGregor is.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not even going to try. No, I'm not like you. I can't do it. 3:31 to go here in this first half.
You are like me. I can't do it either.
Second and 10 after the timeout for the Bengals, trying to put more points on the board. Justin Kutcher, Matt Millen, Peter Schrager with you here in Cleveland. Mike Pereira back in L.A. Dalton under center. Bernard in the backfield. Play action. That ball was deflected at the line, so 3rd and 10 coming up.
Nate Orchard, rookie out of Utah, got his hand up there. Watch number 44 right down here. So you can't get there right away, get your hands up. Getting the throwing lane is as important or not. It sets up this 3rd down again. What we talked about earlier, JK, if they can just get off with a field goal, that's a win.
Especially after that turnover and the return on the interception.
Down.
Play clock down to 3. Dalton just gets it off. Throws incomplete. Was looking for Rex Burkhead, his fullback. And once again, the defense comes up.
Yeah, and so they had the one-on-one on the outside with the linebackers. So that's where they were going to go. You had Burkhead on a matchup, and you like that with Bingo.
Let's go back and bring in Mike Pereira from L.A. Nugent for a 40-yard field goal attempt. And that is good. So he is 2 for 2, and it's now 20-0 Cincinnati. Cleveland defense gives up just 3 points again after the interception from Austin Davis. So they're doing their job as of late, holding this offense of Cincinnati to just 3. But the question again, let's see now. The offense gets the ball back for Cleveland. How does Austin Davis respond after that interception?
I think his response will be fine. The bigger question is, can he sustain something? And they have not been able to sustain any kind of drive here in this first half.
Nugent will kick off. Jennings again returning it from deep in his end zone. Jennings slips a couple and gets it out to the 21. So these Cincinnati Bengals are off to a 9-2 start for the first time since 1975-76. And what was going on back then? Well, the Rocky movie premiered, and what do you know, but Creed is out right now. Tonight, you want to do some more singing? The Big Red Machine?
Big Red Machine. I'll sing about that. Kenny Anderson, guy, that was an outstanding quarterback.
No relation to Kim Anderson, our spotter in the booth.
Yeah, I would hope not. He doesn't look that good. Kenny Anderson was a heck of a player. People forget about him, but that guy at the line of scrimmage was as good as there was.
On first down, Crowell with a good run. And Isaiah Crowell gets 12 on the run for the first down, the biggest run thus far for Cleveland. And there is a player down for Cincinnati. That looks to be Josh Shaw, the rookie out of USC, 4th-round draft pick.
Keep in mind, they're low on the safeties. Josh Shaw, he's in for an injury also. But he goes head-to-head right here, and it looks like it may be friendly fire, and it is. Yeah, right to the face with Williams.
Immediately,
felt
he
it in
reached
his
for his
back.
back.
Yeah.
Josh Shaw, the rookie out of USC, who had some off-the-field issues with USC. Allowed him to really slip in the draft. And you just hope he's all right. We've seen a bunch of players go down here in this first half in Cleveland. 5 players had to be helped off for Cleveland. And now we see Josh Shaw down, being tended to by the training staff.
Well, you're just going, you see Pecco's having a nice prayer for him, but you're just going full speed. And so Sean Williams is coming full bore, and he's going full bore. And then this is not about preparation or anything else. This is just you get what you get.
Sean Williams, his teammate who collided with him. And you love to see this. The good thing was when he got hit, he immediately reached for his back.
I'll tell you something, JK, what happens a lot of times when it's a first for you, most of the time you're scared.
Okay.
Because you're just not quite sure. Like you black out for a second and you come back and you're like, oh, okay, can I still feel my feet? I mean, those are the thoughts that go through your mind. So he's probably just a little scared right now, and he'll be fine.
Reset the game clock to 2:56. 2:56.
This officiating
Everything
crew.
will start on my signal, okay?
Yeah, Jeff Triplett and this officiating crew. There's a lot of experience out there. They've been through a lot of games. I think this is a good crew. They do a nice job.
They were happy to see you.
I think I broke every rule. They threw all the flags on me.
Crowell with a carry. Time for a game break. Let's go out to LA to check in on what's going on in New Jersey with a New Yorker, Mike Hill.
It's going back and forth between the Jets and Giants, tied at 10. Eli Manning to guess who? Odell Beckham Jr., and you ain't catching him. 72-yard touchdown catch, 10th of the season for him. Giants have added a field goal. It's 20-10 right before the half. Justin and Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. The NFC East, once the dominant division in football, now it's just like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. There's a couple of Super Bowls that those Giants have who will remind you of that.
That will lead us to the 2-minute warning. Browns had the ball, trailing by 20. Get apps, videos, and more at itunes.com/NFL. I believe that's called the chicken dance.
That might be the chicken dance, but something tells me that you got to kind of have some of this so you can dress kind of like that. Yeah, at one point, he got up in the morning, he looked in the mirror and said, yeah, I look good, let's go.
2nd and 7. Davis got hit as he released it, and it looks like it was caught. Making the catch was Gary Barnidge for 10 yards in the first down.
Barnidge is he's underrated. Barnidge is a guy this year who's got a bunch of catches, more than he's had in his career. But look at the pressure, and they did. He's not able to follow through, but Barnidge comes up, gets his hand under it, and makes the catch.
Low throw, looking for Darius Jennings. This is Josh Shaw being walked back towards the locker room for Cincinnati.
Well, he's got a smile on his face, so it's not that bad. Hopefully.
Hopefully, exactly.
Meanwhile, the Browns have to get on the clock in this last 132. They got to break that zero, get rid of it.
Davis, good catch by Johnson. And Duke Johnson fights for a couple of extra yards. The 48 gets 5.
You got Duke Johnson on the backside. They got pressure from Michael Johnson, and he's been getting some nice pressure. You can see him down the bottom here, number 90. Geno Atkins on the inside as well.
Davis. Pressure again, throws high, and it's caught again by Darius Jennings. And the forward progress, they are going to give him the first down.
That is a first down. Like he's right directly in front of me, straight down. That's a first down, but a nice job of staying alive by Austin Davis and keeping your eyes down the field. He gets plenty of pressure again. Boy, Geno Atkins is just mauling people inside.
Davis escapes the pressure. Taking a shot down the field, the jump ball, and it's incomplete. Brian Hartline was down there. Reggie Nelson was there as well.
Now this is a couple things. Watch on the back end, you're going to see it's just a jump ball. He puts it up for Hartline, can't get there, but he did a nice job on the front end. And it looks like that Thursday night throw from Rodgers for the Packers. He got some height on that one. But on the inside, on the front end of this thing, Geno Atkins just mauled whoever he was over. I think it was Cameron Irvin.
13 for 22, 122 for Davis, dancing around. Now he's going to run with it. And he slides just shy of the 35. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy live from Pearl Harbor.
Cleveland.
They'll look at that Jets-Giants game, a battle of New York and New Jersey. You know, that works. Timeout called by the Browns with 19 seconds on the clock.
So you still have, they've got to at least get 3 out of this. So at 19 seconds with just 1 timeout left, you can try to work the outside. You can take a shot. It's going to take a little bit too long. So you'd want to work the outside. So you have to defend to the sidelines. And then once you get, if you get another 10 yards and you get down to like 12 seconds, then you could take your shot. You still have one timeout in your back pocket, so you could use the whole field, but not here.
Davis over the middle. Diving forward is Johnson. He's got the first down, but now you got to spike it.
Yeah, you got to hurry up. What are they walking for? Get to the line of scrimmage. You're wasting time.
Now you might as well call the timeout.
That's awful. That's awful.
And there is the timeout.
That's not good. And you can hear the boos in the background, and they're justified.
Their third and final charge timeout. Reset the game clock to 3 seconds.
JK, just what I said. You can't, the middle of the field, you have a timeout in your back pocket, right? You want to get to the sideline and stop the clock right away. If you do dump it off underneath, run to the line of scrimmage and dump and then clock it. You get guys are walking up here asking, hey, you have a cup of coffee this morning? Hey, you see so-and-so? Get your rear end up there.
This is the second time, because on Monday night, the clock management in that fourth quarter was bad as well. They let about 25 seconds go when they could have run more plays and gotten more distance for Travis Coons. And now a timeout is taken by Cincinnati.
Timeout.
There should have been
Cincinnati.
at least, at the very least, two more, not two more, but another play run.
Another play and then a timeout.
And then the timeout, and then the kick.
It will be a 47-yard attempt for Travis Coons, whose only miss on the year was the block 6 Monday night against Baltimore. Cleveland fans, turn away. You've seen it enough.
Yeah, it was not pretty. And they had battled back in that game, and they gave themselves a chance to win, and they were right on the cusp, and it turned around and bit them in the rear end.
Coons from 47 to get Cleveland on the board. And the kick is good. So despite all that, not the best clock management. However, they still get 3. That is the end of the first half. Cincinnati leading 20-3 over Cleveland in the Battle of Ohio. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Visa halftime report after these messages. Brought to you by Nissan. Here in Cleveland, the Cincinnati Bengals. Andy Dalton has connected with his favorite target, A.J. Green, and they lead by the score of 20-3. That was today's excitement, brought to you by Nissan. Start of the third quarter back here in Cleveland. 17-point lead for Cincinnati over the Browns. Justin Kutcher alongside Matt Millen. And Matt, we came in talking about the quarterbacks. Austin Davis has looked good for the Browns. As far as Andy Dalton, well, he's been able to connect with A.J. Green, 102 yards already.
Well, we said at the outset, the thing that Andy Dalton's been able to do is use all the weapons around him. And that's exactly what he's done. And if you start talking about weapons for Cincinnati, it starts right there. A.J. Green is a big playmaker, and he can handle all parts of the game. And then when you can't, and then you just go back and use your eyes for Andy Dalton and rely on your offensive line to be able to handle it. And the net result is a 17-point lead here in the first half.
A look at the stats in that first half. The rush yards advantage Cincinnati. Cincinnati will kick off to open this half. Darius Jennings is back deep to await the kick from Nugent. Jennings from the 5. A short kick, and Jennings takes it out to the 23. Let's check in with Peter Schrager. Peter, what do you got?
Hey, Justin, I spoke with Coach Mike Pettin after the half, and I said, are there going to be lineup changes? It looks like it's going to be Austin Davis from here on out. He was stressing, we scored a field goal at the end of the first half. We get the ball now. There's still a shot we can do this. As for Marvin Lewis, he says, we got to just finish this game, put him away. Let's go. We're up 20-3.
And he's right. Both those guys are right. And for Mike Penn, Austin Davis hasn't been the problem here. They don't have any weapons.
Right.
You look around and like, okay, we're going to walk into this. Who are we going to win with? What do you have? So I understand next man up, but you have to have some playmakers. And right now, this roster is pretty beat up.
On first down, it's Crowell. And Isaiah Crowell takes it up to the 28-yard line.
Barnage is having a nice year, okay? if he had somebody outside to take some pressure off, that opens the middle up even more. They haven't been able to run the football really well this whole season. This offensive line's got to be able to get off the ball when they lose Bitonio. And I think he was a big piece of when they are running the ball decently. He solidifies that front.
Bitonio got hurt early in the first quarter, has been out ever since. We've seen Cameron Irving there at left guard. Davis against the pressure, finds Hartline cutting across the field, and Hartline has a first down, and we're going to have another face mask call.
Wow.
Adam Jones, the guilty.
Adam Jones, 24. You may remember him as Pac-Man. That's how I do. I saw him on the field before the game. He's played a long time.
Yes.
And he's played at a high level too. He still gets out there. He can run with everybody. He still has great athleticism, a good tackler.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, number 24, defense, face mask. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, horse collar. Defense, number 24, that penalty is accepted. 15 yards added into the run, first down.
Well, they're able to make this throw because the protection was good, and the protection is good because 74, Cameron Irvin, does a nice job of a double read. He goes down inside to help Mack and then sees the blitzer, and on the backside you could see the horse collar and the face mask, all of it at once, and a first down.
One-stop shopping. Crowell, delayed handoff up the middle. Isaiah Crowell still on his feet, taken down at the 25. And finally, they got something going on the ground. 22 yards for Crowell.
Yeah, this all starts up front. There's a nice little delay. You're going to see inside some nice big-time blocking. Look at Mack. 55 does a good job. And then he's into the second level and is able to run through. Joe Thomas does a good job of getting inside on the linebacker. They got to come out and put 7 on the board right here.
Isaiah Crowell out of Alabama State, but he was the top running back in his class. Went to Georgia his freshman year and now gets hit in the backfield by Vontaze Burfict.
Vontaze Burfict is not quite yet back to 100% form. He had microfracture surgery on that knee, but I love watching this kid. This kid he's got great toughness. You can see him, number 55. He's just coming through. He's got a bunch of tackles here today, but he's decisive, he's physical, he's extremely smart. He's got a high football IQ.
There was a loss of 4 on that tackle, so second down and 14. Duke Johnson now in at tailback. Davis pressured, and he gets sacked. Pecco with the sack and the dance.
That one at Pecco, number 94, their nose tackle. And he's a power guy. You can see him right there. Always remember, you see that hair. And he just wins, not with power, but he wins with an arm over. So he gave him a little power, and then he gave you a little bit of a dance. Been in the league now for 10 years. He still plays at a high level.
He's celebrating because of his Spartans' victory last night. 3rd and 24 now. And now you're just trying to get back in a field goal range. Over the middle, screen for Johnson. Johnson spun around up to 29.
You're talking about close to a 50-yard field goal from here. It's going to be a 47-yarder.
Coons hit once from 47 already to close out that first half.
Yeah, 48.
A tackle for a loss on the run by Crowell for 4. The sack by Pecco. And now it's a 48-yard field goal attempt for Coons. And that was tipped. Sean Williams was the guy who got the hand on it, maybe.
They're watching the inside.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49, only at BK. And by Audi. Challenge all givens.
That house might look familiar here in Cleveland's Tremont neighborhood. It was the house used for A Christmas Story, 1983 movie. I know you're a fan of that one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I wonder if you can see Ralphie's tongue still stuck on the pole.
On first down here, Jeremy Hill. Let's go back to the blocked field goal.
Yeah, Carlos Dunlap, he has a huge wingspan, and that is the net result of having it. Just that fingertip, and it deflects the ball, and you start getting things like that, and I think, you know, it feels like Lucy pulled the ball out from under you.
Second down and 9 here for Cincinnati. We heard Peter Schrager say that Marvin Lewis says, we got to put these guys away. Well, now's a chance. After a blocked field goal, the pass, Marvin Jones using that stiff arm, and Jones has the first down. Marvin Jones just pushed Charles Gaines down with that stiff arm and picks up 15.
Yeah, he took one right to the kisser, and that's what you have to be able. Marvin Jones does a nice job in the open field, and defensively, that's where you have to win. And, you know, when you start looking at the Cincinnati Bengals roster, I think this is Marvin Lewis's best team that he's had. In fact, I believe this is the best team that Cincinnati's had since the late 80s when they went to the Super Bowl. They have playmakers. They have guys on the same page up front for a good offensive line. And they have Hugh Jackson and the quarterback, Andy Dalton, on the same page. Setting
up the screen for Ryan Hewitt. And Hewitt gets tackled at the 40. Greg Robertson with the tackle, a 13.
There's Hugh Jackson, their offensive coordinator, and you can see the first half possessions, and they were pretty consistent. And you can see the results are all right there. But here's what happened. When the nexus occurs between quarterback and play caller, when they start seeing things with the same eyes, when they start anticipating things, that's when you got a chance to have things go well. This offensive line has been together for a long time. This running game has been integrated. You have your big play receivers outside.
Good cut by Hill. Jeremy Hill. Inside the 25, down to the 23. Time for a game break. Let's go to L.A. and check in with Mike Hill.
Hey, fellas, how about those Bucs right in the playoff mix trying to get to 500 against the struggling Falcons? Doug Martin up and over for the 1-yard TD run. 2-point conversion, no good, but they take the lead 13-12 in the third.
I watched those guys a week ago, J.K. That's a pretty good football team.
Yeah.
They have gotten better. Lovie Smith's done a nice job. He's developed that young quarterback in Jameis Winston. They're playing pretty good football. Good defensive front as well.
I actually had that first matchup of Tampa Bay and Atlanta, and Tampa Bay won that one in overtime. Andy Dalton, quarterback run.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a quick to the outside, and he didn't like it. It was defended well, so he pulled it down and lived for another down. Good decision making, and that's the difference right there. There's the difference. And so it's not the young quarterback who says, you know what, I know I'm supposed to throw it out there, so I'm going to throw it. He didn't like what he saw. So you pull it down, you live for another down. That's the maturity of Andy Dalton.
Second down and 8. Play action. Looking for A.J. Green. And it's, well, one is saying complete, one's saying incomplete.
They'll have a caucus, which they should do. Everybody has different views.
Well, it's not a touchdown.
Not a touchdown, it's a catch. And so watch the feet. He's got to get both feet down. There's one, there's two, there's control. He has it all the way through. That's the right call. Great job of officiating and how it was done.
Rolling on the field is a touchdown.
What?
No, it's not a touchdown.
It was Tramon Williams whose leg hit the pylon.
Right. It was Tramon Williams who hit it and not A.J. Green.
They're going to take a look at this one. I'm pretty sure it's going to be overturned when we come back.
Play.
Welcome back. Let's get the call here from the referee, Jeff Triplett.
After reviewing the previous play, the ruling on the field is changed. The correction. The receiver got the ball 2 feet down inbounds, but then hit short of the touchdown. The ball will be placed at the half-yard line. First and goal, Cincinnati.
It's a good call. 20-yard gain.
Good job by the officials of getting together and getting it right. And now this is happening bang, bang. We're slowing it down. You're going to see both feet touch. And the field judge right here, he sees a foot hit it, but it was not A.J. Green's foot. It was the defender.
Jeremy Hill, and he will punch it in. Touchdown, Cincinnati. 8th rushing touchdown of the year for Jeremy Hill. And now we've got a flag, as it looked like Jeremy Hill was trying to go towards the seats, and one of the players from the Browns did not appreciate it.
Well, when you go with power, you know you're getting help from the up front. Watch Tyler Croft right here, number 81. That's a nice job of getting inside out and allowing them to get the push. Fisher also does a nice job. Number 74, you see a good job just to push. Zeitler coming around 60. That's a good job by that whole offensive line.
After the score, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 58 of the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be penalized on the kickoff.
That was against Christian Kirksey, because Jeremy Hill went to go jump into the stands, not in the dog pound, the opposite side. And Christian Kirksey went to grab him to pull him down, saying, "Not in my house." And now he gets penalized.
He'd been better off stopping him at the goal line instead of the back of it.
Nugent's extra point is good. 27-3, Cincinnati leading. There's some Bengals fans up there.
Today's game is sponsored by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
Back here in Cleveland, Jeremy Hill, his 8th rushing touchdown of the year, and they've all come in the red zone. And now Mike Nugent, after the unsportsmanlike conduct, will kick off from the 50. No return this time.
So here comes the touchdown, and it's power right forward. And then he's happy about that, so he goes and finds a Bengal fan, which of course it's a number 78 Anthony Munoz jersey. He's very happy about it. Kirksey's not too appreciative of the fact, so he gives him a push. Jeremy Hill says, "Don't push me." Robertson steps in, flags are thrown, and here we are.
And what you're most impressed about was the Anthony Munoz jersey.
Absolutely. Best left tackle I've ever seen. I think the best left tackle of all time. And maybe a better person than player.
Austin Davis, 16-25, 147 here on first down, play action. Out of the pocket. Davis, and now he'll just throw it away.
He was trying to get Barnage to get down the field, and they did a really nice job of knocking him out of bounds.
I also like the fact that here is this kid making his first start since last year. Came in essentially in relief because Josh McCown went down on Monday night with a broken collarbone. And he's smart. He's not just trying to do too much. At that point, he's saying, "All right, I'm not going to take a loss. I'll just throw it away."
Now, he's been impressive. He needs help. There's nobody there. You heard Jimmy Johnson talking about it on our pregame.
Coming from behind, and he gets sacked. Hit hard by Carlos Dunlap. And this time, that sack will stand.
That will stand. And he's coming off that left side on the top side. Oh, and he just, they tried to keep a tight end in on him, and that is an absolute mismatch. You cannot do that. That's Jim Dre, and all he can give is the old lookout block. I mean, if you put a tight end on him one-on-one, he will maul them. And that's what you got.
6'6", 280 against 6'5", 255. Third sack of the game for this Bengals defense. Davis throwing over the middle, and that one is caught by Jennings. And forward progress, Jennings has the first down. Austin Davis with a good throw on 3rd and 15.
And nice poise in the pocket and throwing under pressure. He just got drilled in the back. And where are his eyes? Downfield. He trusts the fact that he's going to have some pocket, and he does. And he finds him down the field before Reggie Nelson puts him down.
Been impressed with this kid here today.
They just need a couple more playmakers. There's some parts to this team that are pretty good.
And Johnson losing some ground. And he's going to lose more than a little bit of ground. Looks like a loss of 3.
Well, you see Vontez Burfict in the middle of that thing, and Ray Mauluga in the middle of that, and then you have Pecco, and it's a powerful group. I mean, again, we talked about it from the start, but Geno Atkins is as quiet and powerful and good a player as there is in this league, especially at that tackle spot.
I loved speaking with Austin Davis on Friday, and he says, yeah, you know what? I mean, heck, make my first start against the league's #1 defense. Yeah, good times.
Here's Geno Atkins hitting pressure on the top side again.
And the pass is complete to Gary Barnidge. Gets 10 yards, 3rd and short coming up. Perfect on the tackle.
Yeah, so this is smart. This is smart play calling. Watch, you can see the push. And so what they do is they're just kind of have to roll them out and give them a bunch of nakeds because they're getting beat at the point. They're getting beat at the point, and they're getting beat at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 3 on 3rd down. He's been really good today. 8 of 9, 5 first downs. They said this kid works so hard. Watching the film room. Pressured again.
Guess who?
Throws this away. Was he out of the pocket? And he was out of the pocket. That's a look.
Well,
nope, there's the flag.
That's Geno Atkins. He's just
intentional grounding offense.
That's the 4th time.
The ball did not get back to the line of scrimmage, even though the quarterback was out of the pocket.
That's a 4th pressure.
Placed at the spot of the foul, since it's more than 10 yards. It's a loss of down also, so make it 4th down.
By Geno Atkins. And he's just powering off of people inside. John Greco had no shot. Now, I mentioned Geno Atkins was born with natural leverage. He's vertically challenged.
Am I born with natural leverage?
Yes, you are. Very nice. And he also is like a 550-pound bench presser, and that's where we draw the line.
I was going to say that. I see the similarities, yeah. The punt by Andy Lee, a good high punt. Tate on the return, and he's going to run out at the 38-yard line. Carlos Dunlap came in 4th in the NFL in sacks, picks up his 9.5 sacks now on the season. Cincinnati in control of this game, 27-3. Andy Dalton trying to get this team off to a 10-2 start for the 2nd time in franchise history. Dalton 10 for 16, 180 yards and a touchdown. Hands off here. Jeremy Hill with a nice run up to midfield. Let's go down. Check in with Peter Schrager.
Hey, Justin, you know, the Browns come in injured anyway, but now we've got 4 more injuries. Marlon Moore's questionable with ribs. Travis Benjamin out. Malcolm Johnson, the fullback, he's out. Joel Bitonio's out. And I'll tell you, I'm on the Browns sideline right now. I know you guys might not be crazy about this, but the fans are chanting for Johnny.
Yeah, you know, Peter, I know why they're chanting for him. They want to see this guy. They're down by 24 points. But Austin Davis, Matt, has played really well. And frankly, with the protection or lack thereof up front, why do you want to bring Manziel into that situation?
I'm completely in agreement with you. I think Austin Davis is just fine. If I were the fans, I'd start clamoring for some playmakers.
Yeah. Or you know, they're also the same fans who are upset that they benched Manziel last week, and they made him the #2 starter this week. But I applaud Mike Pettin for what he did with his coaches of trying to discipline Johnny Manziel at this point. I mean, they had named him the starter. They wanted him to be the starter. And he said, hey, look, Austin Davis deserves to start after what he did coming in on Monday night, and he's done nothing here to say he should be taken out of the game. Jeremy Hill on the carry, picks up 2. But I want to go back to Andy Dalton, because Dalton is a guy who everyone's talked about. You know what? Yeah, they're 9-2 right now, but he's never won that big game. I was doing, the research. This boggled my mind.
Number 74 reports as an eligible receiver.
Peyton Manning
74
didn't win his first playoff game till his 6th season. Andy Dalton has led Cincinnati to the playoffs each of his first 4.
And they're still waiting for the win, and that's that's the way it goes. Look, the bottom line is he's going to have his best chance with this group, because this is the best team he's played with.
Hill able to get outside, and Jeremy Hill, you mentioned this earlier, kind of those body blows.
Yeah, here they come.
Here they come.
Yeah. So you get to the middle, the end of the 3rd quarter and into the 4th, and your defense has been on the field, and you're trying everything, all your different fronts that you've run, all your stunts that you've run, and now you get the bigger body who are in sync. They start anticipating what you're doing, and this is where they usually start to get you.
Giovanni Bernard in for Hill, who's now got 72 yards on 13 carries. They give it to Bernard. And Bernard able to hit the hole. He gets spun down. Well, this weekend, as we pay tribute to the events at Pearl Harbor and honor those who selflessly serve our country, Fox Sports is proud to support Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our nation. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com.
Lito.
2nd down and 2 here for the Bengals. Bernard. Tackled shy of the 1st down marker. Let's go out to LA for a game break and check in with Mike.
Cards trying to stay hot, trying to go for their 6th in a row, taking on the Rams. Carson Palmer to the rookie David Johnson. He's accounted for 9 touchdowns this season. That made it 17-3 in the 3rd. Justin Mack back to you.
All right, thanks, Mike. Back here in Cleveland, it's 27-3. Cincinnati leading the Browns in the NFC West. Arizona, they're a good team, one of the 2 teams that has defeated Cincinnati this year. That was a 34-31 win for the Cardinals.
Yeah, and Seattle's starting to play their best football right around now.
Dalton to the end zone. Touchdown. Marvin Jones. 21 yards.
That's all on Dalton. He knows he's one-on-one on the outside. They loaded up the front, and so he's going to go up top. Little play action to the inside, but your single coverage up high, and Gaines is not the match. Jones wins. Nice throw.
And all that success running the ball set up that play action.
And they were going to be man outside regardless. I mean, that was going to be a match one-on-one that you're going to look at the whole time. And Dalton saw it, and 6 points.
Nugent. The extra point is good. Marvin Jones, 5 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown from Andy Dalton, 34-3, Cincy. On top of this one, 34-3 over Cleveland. And the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, has a long history of honoring players who have significantly impacted both the game and their communities. Each NFL team nominates 1 player for the award, and 3 finalists will be announced in January of 2016, with the winner being announced at the NFL Honors Award Show on February 6th. This year's nominee for the Bengals, Carlos Dunlap, and for the Cleveland Browns is Gary Barnidge. Congratulations to both those 2 guys, and thank you for what you do. Jennings will take a knee, and Cleveland will start at the 20. Austin Davis, he has been under pressure all game long, and people say, wait, you say he's playing well? How is he playing well? They only have 3 points. Well, it's because he's been under pressure all game long.
And he's made good decisions, and he's kept his eyes downfield. And keep in mind, you know, you've got yourself, how many pressures? Like 8 or 9 pressures that they have. So they're getting hits on him, but he's finding what's available, and that's the problem. There's not a lot available to him.
Davis completes it to Jennings. And Jennings forward progress up to the 25.
Now this has been the pressure that's been going on all day. And there's a lot of stuff coming from the inside with Geno Atkins, or Pecco as you see it. Dunlop on the outside. Michael Johnson from the outside. There's been a bunch all game long, yet he still keeps his eyes downfield, and he still tries to get the intermediate ball. And most of the time it's the intermediate ball, JK, because they don't have anybody to push the ball down the field.
Right. They haven't been able to muster much. This is the end. The Browns trailing 34-3 at the end of 3. Johnny Manziel is on the sideline with a helmet on. He's had the helmet on most of the day. It is cold down there.
You know, the one thing that I guess I was a little surprised about with Manziel here is the whole building likes him.
Yeah.
He's a likable guy. They said he works hard. I mean, you talk to all the players, they're like, he's going to be a good player.
Davis completes the pass to Jennings. Jennings escapes one hit. Looked like it was Maluga who missed the tackle. Marcus Hunt gets credit, a 3-yard pickup for Jennings.
You know, I started to say this earlier, and then the official cut me off. We got to stop that. But anyway,
I told you, I thought you guys were friends.
Jimmy Johnson said on the pregame show about, you know, you start dogging the coaching, but you really need to look at the roster because they don't have enough players to be able to make plays. And part of it has been attrition. Part of it, they got rid of guys that they shouldn't have.
3rd and 2, empty backfield here for Davis. Davis, he's going to run, diving forward, and he's got the first down. This is a kid who is a good athlete. Went to college, was going to play baseball. His brother played college baseball at Southern Miss. Going to play baseball and football, and then lo and behold, he's a football player.
He's got good size. He has athleticism, enough athleticism. He's not going to wow you with it, but he's got enough to get himself out of trouble. And he's been pretty accurate. You just need some guys who can separate on the outside or can make a play. You don't have any.
Handoff. Johnson nearly made a great cutback. And let's check in with Mike Hill back in LA for a game break.
Bills, Texans, playoff implications here. DeAndre Hopkins may be laying claim to the best receiver in the league. From Brian Hoyer right there, 19-yard TD catch. 10 TD of the season, 2-point conversion is good. 21-21. You know he's happy because Clemson's #1 in the playoffs right now as well.
He might be even happier because they're tied up and they have a chance to win.
21 all, Houston Buffalo.
Bill O'Brien has done a really nice job with that Houston team. And they were, you know, they started off slow. They don't really have a quarterback. They don't have a guy you say he's the guy. And then slowly but surely the defense starts to play well. They're finding a little bit of rhythm. And now they're right in the middle of it.
How good is J.J. Watt historically for you?
Oh, he's, you know, different guys come around in different eras. He's this era. He's that guy. Now, when I compare him to, like, to me, the greatest defender I've ever seen in my life, on tape from the old through the 60s, all the way through is Lawrence Taylor.
Right.
Greatest defender I've ever seen. He ain't Lawrence Taylor, but he's close.
Davis has it knocked down at the line by Dunlap. Bengals defense has been impressive.
Yeah, they really have. The biggest part, you know, there's points allowed.
Holding.
It all comes down to that.
10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Adding insult to injury there. Cameron Irving gets called for the hold on a pass that was batted down.
And it looks like they just replaced him inside with Austin Pazer, 67. Irvin's going to be okay. Just a rookie. Got thrown in the fire. He's getting a little more physical inside and also learn his, you know, the protections and stuff. But he'll be fine. Whoa, here comes Geno Atkins again.
Davis does a nice job in the pocket, able to find Brian Hartline, and Hartline gets it back up to the 49, 17-yard pickup.
So they take out Cameron Irvin there and say, okay, look, it's time for a break. So we bring in Pastor on them outside. So what do? They isolate him again. Geno Atkins, it doesn't matter who you put in front of him. He's just going to take it right back to the quarterback.
6'1", 300 pounds.
Powerful man.
Hartline now up to 61 yards on 6 catches for Cleveland. Davis tries to swing it out, and this is still a live ball.
Live ball. It's backwards.
It is. It was a lateral deflected, and it looks like it's recovered by Cincinnati. Malaluga has it. Dunlap deflected it.
Dre Kirkpatrick's like, what are you doing? I wanted to score with that.
Yes. There was a backward pass recovered by Cincinnati. First down.
And you know what they say, don't stop until you hear the whistle. And it looked like Isaiah Crowell did stop. He didn't try to go for it. Saw it was batted down.
Yeah, here you go. Take a look at it. And so it does go beyond the quarterback from the backside. But because it got tipped, that would be the question.
Right.
That would be the question. It was tipped, and the question has to be whether it was tipped back. So let's ask Mike Pereira. That's a good question. Here you go. He starts to throw it. Now, Crowell's ahead of him, but it gets tipped, and it goes backwards.
We're going to go to a commercial break. We'll check in with Mike Pereira when we come back. Will it be Cincy ball?
Today's game is sponsored by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. By Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Back here in Cleveland, 34-3, Cincinnati leading the Browns. And it will be Cincinnati ball off the pass that was ruled a backwards pass. Picked up by Malaluga. The handoff to Hill. Let's go back to LA and bring in Mike Pereira. Mike, can you describe to us what happened on that play and what the officials are looking for if they're going to review it?
Yeah, remember, here's the issue. It's from where it leaves the passer's hand to where it first touches anything, and that includes the defensive player. So watch, it leaves the hand right about at the 41-yard line, and it's touched right there at the 41 also. So to me, it's parallel, and it has to be forward to be forward. So they were right to confirm that in replay that it was a backward pass.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. A good tackle in the backfield on Jeremy Hill by Tashawn Gibson, a loss of 4.
So the explanation by Mike is very good. So in order for it to be backwards, it has to be backwards.
Right.
If it's parallel, that's still backwards. It has to be forward, or how should I put this? It's forward, everything else is backwards. So there wasn't enough there to overturn the call that was on the field.
It's like in math, greater than or equal to. No, it has to be greater than.
A, no B, no C, no D.
3rd and 11, a pump fake. Dalton comes back for Bernard, and Bernard keeps it going. Will come up a yard shy of that first down. Let's check in with Traeger down on the field.
Thanks, Justin. You know, you can talk about a tale of two franchises. As the Browns are struggling to find playmakers here, the Bengals roster is downright loaded. This past offseason at the draft, they drafted a left tackle in the first round, Cedric Ogbuehi out of Texas A&M, and also Eric Fisher, another tackle, in the second round. Guys, neither of those players start on this team. They're rotational guys. This loaded roster, they say it's one of the best in the entire league. Meanwhile, Cleveland struggling to find playmakers. Yeah, and that's, Matt, what you've been talking about really is how good of a roster they have assembled in Cincinnati going forward here on 4th and 1. Dalton, good job picking up that pressure. The pass is complete and enough for the first down to C.J. Uzomah.
Got a little bit of pressure, did Andy Dalton, and he feels it. And then he readjusts. And it looks like it's...
Number 74 reports as an eligible receiver. Number 74 is eligible.
Yeah, it looks like it's on the inside where he was getting it. And Kruger tries to come up and get something, but Andy Dalton in complete control. You know, one of the guys that Peter Schrager was talking about just checked in right there, number 74. That's Jake Fisher. They use him as an extra tackle. He's right here, but he played tight end, and he's athletic enough to get away with it.
Hill breaks free, and he takes it inside the 10. 12-yard run for Jeremy Hill, approaching 100 yards on the day on the ground.
Yeah, they're just wearing out this defensive front right now. And that's all it is. Yeah, see the double down block up to the next level of the backer, and Jeremy Hill, once he clears that into the second level, it's just lower your pads and run. Yeah, I saw a difference in Jeremy Hill last week. You could see he's going more downhill. You know, we use that term a lot, but it's just straight head, straight forward, and running behind his pads, which means getting low and letting him only try to tackle tops of your pads.
Takes the handoff again. Gets a couple at 86 yards now on the day. Cincinnati's really been in control throughout this one.
Yeah, whether it's pass or run, this offensive line has controlled the game.
Second and goal from the 7. Hill dancing, and Hill gets down to around the 1. Tackled by Craig Robertson, his 5th of the day.
And this offensive line, we've been talking about it, but start looking at the left offensive tackles, Andrew Whitworth and Bowling 65 on the inside, and then Russell Bodine on the inside, 61, the center. Zeitler from Ottawa, Wisconsin, 68. Andre Smith, 71. Those guys, you see Fisher there, 74. Those guys have been the difference in this game. They started up front, just mauling on you, and they've kept on gnawing all day long.
Third and goal from the 1. Hill runs into a wall of brown jerseys, and they stuff him. Leading 34-3. This defense for Cleveland not giving up.
Well, there's some pride going on down there. So Carlos Dansby in the middle of that thing. The defensive line, though, just getting their pad level down lower. Sets up this 4th down, which will be a field goal.
Nugent 2 for 2 so far, 44 and 40. This one a chip shot from 20. And he is now 3 for 3 on the day. Mike Pettine's defense hasn't given up. They give up 3 right there, but their trail 37-3. Most of the fans have left here in Cleveland with their team trailing 37-33. The Birds are looking for some food, some scraps.
They better not be buzzards, because that means we're not doing too well down here.
The rookie, Cameron Irving, on the bench. Nugent to kick off. Jennings, he'll take a knee. The Bengals have been in control since the get-go. They're going to move to 10-2 on the season.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
The fans remaining here in Cleveland are the fans who came here from Cincinnati. Andy Dalton's team, 37-3 over the Browns. Cincinnati won the first meeting back on November 5th, 31-10. The last few years, there has not been a sweep in the Battle of Ohio. We're going to have a sweep this year. On first down, Crowell with the carry. This January, the celebration begins as we kick off the farewell season of American Idol. The show that made so many superstars, from Kelly to Carrie to Philip, is ready to discover an idol one last time. Don't miss the farewell season, premiering Wednesday, January 6th on Fox, and I am not ashamed to say I have albums from all 3 of those people. Kelly Clarkson, Kerry Underwood, Phillip Phillips. Come on, Millen.
What position did they play? That guy had to be a linebacker or something. I don't know anything about him.
There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, another pressure. There's a shock. I think that's 9 on the day.
Intentional grounding, 7 of the offense. It's more than 10 yards, so it won't be placed in the spot of the foul. Loss of down.
Yeah, well, I don't know what. He's going to get sacked. I mean, the net result's the same thing. It's a loss of down. It sets up a 3rd down. The only thing he could do is either take the sack and try to throw it away.
Coming up on 5 minutes to go in this one, 3rd and 16.
Or try to get somebody open. That would be something.
Hartline with the catch for 10 yards. Let's go back to L.A. and check in with Mike Hill.
All right, fellas, don't forget the Fox game of the week coming up next. Cam Newton doing what he does, dancing, playing good. Panthers trying to go to 12-0 in the season. Drew Brees fired up. Saints hoping to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. That's next for most of you on Fox. Others will see Eagles and Patriots. Justin, Matt, back to you.
Brian Hartline hobbling along the sidelines there. We'll have a punt here for Andy Lee.
They're going to have a great shot to go undefeated.
Carolina.
Yes, in the regular season, absolutely. That's not a real strong schedule down the lane here.
37-3. Marvin Lewis has this team humming along here in Cleveland. With 4:27 to go, leading by 34, A.J. McCarron will get the chance to get some snaps in at quarterback for Cincinnati as Andy Dalton's day is now complete. A.J. McCarron, what a career he had at Alabama.
Yeah.
He had a couple of good players with him as well.
You think?
Like the entire team, the 2 deep. Hill up the middle, and Andy Dalton on the sideline now. His day is done, and he had himself a nice afternoon.
Well, we said at the start of the game he didn't have to beat the whole show by himself, just use what was around him, and he did. He used his offensive line here in the run game, and A.J. Green on the outside, and he had his way with his defense. Not a lot of pressure. They were able to run the football effectively, but one pressure the whole game against Andy Dalton.
Makes it a lot easier to throw incomplete passes when that's the situation. 2nd down and 7. Hill again.
You know, I don't think enough has been said about Marvin Lewis. I think Marvin, you know, he's one of 2 long-tenured coaches. He and Belichick. He's got 13 years here. He has just been. He's been patient. He's developed his guys. He's been patient with his roster. And he says this is his most competitive team.
And credit the organization, too.
Absolutely. I think Duke Tobin's done a nice job for them in the personnel department, son of Bill Tobin. And Bill was a GM for a long time in Indianapolis and Chicago. And
McCarron on the slant completes the pass to Mario Alford. A good adjustment by Alford, a 14-yard completion. Well, as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC, New England right now, you'd say they're in control, but hey, they've got a 1-game lead over these Cincinnati Bengals and the Denver Broncos, depending on what happens with Denver.
Yeah, I heard Jimmy Johnson talking about who's going to be the number 2 seed going forward, but you know, I learned a long time ago. Yeah, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and there's a lot of finish left in this season.
On 1st down, handoff, Hill. The upcoming schedule, the remaining schedule for the Cincinnati Bengals team during the regular season. Home against Pittsburgh, at San Fran, at Denver. That December 28th game could loom large. And then home against Baltimore to wrap things up. The 2-minute warning here in Cleveland. Cincy leading 37-3.
Today's game is sponsored by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
The Battle of Ohio here in Cleveland, Cincinnati against the Browns. And it's going to be a series sweep this year for the Cincinnati Bengals, leading 37-3. A.J. Green's day is done. All he did was 5 catches, 128 yards, a touchdown. Andy Dalton's day is done. A.J. McCarron is in. Rex Burkhead with the carry. And third down is coming up.
So the Bengals had a couple hiccups there with those 2 losses, both of which games they had an opportunity to win. Then they came back and they get their wins right back, and they get right back on track. And I think that's a great sign for this team. I think it's one of those things where you say, okay, let's focus, we can do this, and they did it.
Yeah.
And I think offensively they have health, which is the most important thing this time of the season. They have big playmakers on the outside. They have an efficient quarterback and a defensive front that's really darn good.
McCarron keeping the play alive, throws towards the sideline and completes the pass to Burkhead. Fourth down is coming up. Today's game is being produced by Fran Morrison, directed by Scott Katz. The technical producer is Matt Benedict. The technical director is Kyle Collins. The associate director, Yvonne Wagner. And the broadcast associate is Anthony Rita. Our spotter up here in the booth, Kim Anderson. Our stats crew, Pete Souza up here in the booth. Chris Adams-Wall down in the truck. Thanks, guys. Here in the fourth quarter, 1:12 to go. And on 4th and 2, Cincinnati will go for it. McCarron throws, and it's incomplete for Brandon Tate. So a turnover on downs. This January, one man is rewriting the book on how to survive adulthood. Get ready for the new Fox comedy, Cooper Barrett's Guide to Surviving Life, premiering Sunday, January 3rd on Fox. I might have to learn from that show.
If you learn from that show, you are a lot worse than I thought you were.
I didn't think that was possible. And that fan is trying to teach his son, okay, well, this is what happens. You stay to the end no matter what.
Hey, that's how you get them in here. Be a fan for life.
Austin Davis getting hit again as he releases. Brian Hartline with the catch. And Hartline has the first down. Davis swings it out. Crowell. And a good open field tackle made by P.J. Dawson, the rookie out of TCU. The Browns, next week, they've got the 49ers coming to town. Hugs for the Bengals. Will they run one more play? It looks like Austin Davis wants one more. Just gets it off. It's the final play of the game. Davis. And that is incomplete, and that's the way this game will end. 37-3. Cincinnati moves to 10-2 for just the second time in franchise history as the Browns fall to 2-10. For Matt Millen, Peter Schrager, I'm Justin Kutcher saying so long from Cleveland. Now let's take it to the State Farm Game Show. Here's Kurt Menefee in Hawaii.